Serial Geeks here in the studio. Why are we here today? Well, we're going to talk about Six Flags Over Georgia.
Yep.
Are they?
Go to Six Flags Over Georgia a lot.
Yes, we do.
And we always have a great time.
Yes. Great park.
Yep. So, you know, we had a couple experiences our last couple visits at the park and seen a couple other things pop up.
Right.
That have us a little bit concerned about how it's going to affect our covering the park and things like that. So we just wanted to talk about that a little bit.
Yep.
And let you know what we've seen and what our end of our experiences have been. And
I'm going to touch into this a little bit.
so, like, let me start by saying, like, you know, you'll see in different, like, online groups and things like that, a lot of people always, like, complain about the park employees and stuff like that. And we don't really share that sentiment at all. We've never had any issue.
Well, that's what I was going to say, too, is why do we not touch that in the videos is because we've never really seen it in the park.
Yeah, we've never had an issue with an employee being nasty or something like that.
Everybody wants to say that the ride operators aren't doing their job. We feel otherwise. Yep. And we feel that it's the guests coming into the park making the ride operator's job harder. Point in case being is, how many times have anybody been to Six Flags Over Georgia, looked at Goliath, and all of a sudden seen Goliath stop on the lift hill? Yeah. Well, why is it stopped on the lift hill?
Because the ride operators caught somebody doing something they shouldn't be
ride
doing.
operator doing their job with somebody taking their cell phone out on their ride or a camera
or something
to film the ride, which clearly states on Six Flags you're not allowed to do that. Yeah. As YouTubers, we know this. Mm-hmm. We're not doing it because we're not going to break the rules of the park, and that's the rules that they set forth, and it's stated on the website.
Yeah.
Fine.
So, yeah, if that's your biggest complaint is that the ride operators aren't catching everybody, like, I'm not going to put that at their feet. I'm going to put that at the feet of the people who need to get caught.
Look, I'm going to also say it this way, too. Is everybody has a bad day. You might have caught somebody on a bad day. We never caught a ride operator, like we said, on being nasty to us. Yeah. We're polite to them. We're understanding. They're there doing their job. Mm-hmm. Also, I'm also seeing during a lot of complaints about ride operators towards the end of the season, more the end of the summer, the end of Holiday in the Park, the end of Fright Fest, things like that. Well, put yourself into the position of that ride operator. You're a seasonal employee. I'm not giving them an excuse to say that, they're entitled to start slacking at that point. But you're losing your job in a couple weeks.
I mean, not even that. I've been in so many of those, like, service jobs, retail, restaurants, things like that. It's a lot of work. And
but at the same time, it is a job where the ride operator does have safety of a human being at stake too. So I'm not giving any leeway of it.
Yeah, absolutely. But in any case, we're not here to complain about, like, the various park employees because we've never had any negative experiences ourselves with them. So they're all good in our experience. What we have had a couple experiences with of late has been with security. Security
is in my opinion really out of hand.
It's gotten a little crazy. And just almost, in the last, like, few visits that we had
in a too geek way, it almost feels like you're talking to RoboCop.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, I just...
Yeah. So apparently there's some new regulations about camera equipment that I don't know what the deal is, or like some of them sort of existed already.
My understanding for camera equipment is is people with a DSLR. For some reason they're considering DSLR cameras professional grade cameras because they have interchangeable lenses.
Yeah.
Now,
so that was our first ever issue with security. Was we were filming the haunted Six Flags video, and we were getting some footage with it's like a Canon Coolpix, right?
With this camera right here.
Yeah.
It has no interchangeable lenses, but the base of it does kind of look like a DSLR. The lens does come out, but it's all attached. It's a point and shoot camera.
Yeah.
So Jess had a security guard come up to her and say, hey, hold on. They literally took the camera and inspected the camera to make sure. The guy was like, well, it's okay with me.
I mean, they were nice about it. Like, I explained to them who we were. I'm like, we're here all the time. We film with this equipment, you know.
Not that us being a YouTube channel is an excuse for us to break any rules, because we're not breaking rules, and we would not go and break a rule.
Yeah, no.
Just want to let that be known. We follow the rules just as everybody else.
I was just more letting them know that filming in the park and using this equipment wasn't new for us. It was something that we've done many times, you know, and the camera didn't have anything detachable on it, so he was like, okay, this doesn't really go against the rules, so it's okay, whatever.
But at the same time if you look at the website, the rules are not clear on the detachable camera policy. We don't use a detachable lens on our camera. But if I wanted to, our cameras do have the capability of putting extended lenses on, which I wouldn't do because of the policy of the park. The selfie sticks, they're not allowed in the park. I understand. I get why. But at the same time, a little tripod like this, where it's not extendable, is not allowed either, where if I'm using it in the wrong way or attaching it to something, I understand.
We have one right now that's just a handle, and we've had issues with that, and actually got permission to use it.
The permission that we have is we have guidelines we have to follow to do that. Now, the reason behind them saying that this is not acceptable at Six Flags Over Georgia, but you may be able to use this at any other Six Flags, because I know other Six Flags are allowing things like this in, from my understanding. Other theme parks are, Carowinds, Dollywood, they're all allowing you to bring in a gimbal, per se. Like, if you don't know what a gimbal is, it's a device that kind of looks like this, but it's a solid piece, and it stabilizes your camera. But Six Flags Over Georgia is considering that a weapon. I mean, I get it, I guess, if somebody gets mad, but if I'm going out buying a gimbal or something like that,
using that equipment,
they're well over $100, and I'm not using it as a weapon. Selfie sticks, I understand, they do get annoying. Even Disney World banned selfie sticks because they do get in the way. I do understand in an aspect of why gimbals, being that they are a stabilizer, are banned from the park, because somebody may want to try to take it onto a ride and, you know, film it with a stable shot. I get that, but
I don't think that's their concern. But
at the same time, you do have lockers in the park where you can put this stuff.
Yeah. So
the security part of it, how many times I've gone through security, I can tell you off the top of my head at least 3 times where security has pulled me to the side and tried to give me an issue for my camera. It's a regular camcorder that any family would bring into the park, you know, to capture family moments or whatever.
Yeah, it's not like a super top of the line camcorder or anything like that.
No, it's not. It's just a normal camcorder, a handy cam, and they have told me before this is not allowed. I've had to talk to the head of security and this and that. But when you're talking to security, they want to act like you're a criminal.
Yeah, they're really the only employees that we've ever found act a little beyond the scope of what they need to do. Like, I understand security, whatever. Like, total respect for you doing your job
days
and keeping things in line.
You need to keep things secured.
But when you're dealing with people that are just entering the park and
this is the first thing that people come across.
Aren't actually doing anything wrong. And you're dealing with, like, serious attitude, like, off the bat.
Yes.
And some careless practices.
I'm going to give you a quote from a security officer. I won't give you the name because I know the name off the top of my head, but I'm not going to say their name just because. Well, can I speak to your supervisor? You're going to speak to me because I'm the only one in charge right now in this park. Can I speak to somebody in charge of the park? Park man, nope, you're dealing with me. I'm security and I'm the one that you deal with right now. Well, I'm sorry, that's not the way you deal with a guest coming into a park looking to have a fun day.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sorry, it's just not appropriate. I know that we all seen these other videos out there going on right now, and I know other people, you know, name dropping and stuff. Like, we're not going to name drop. We're not doing all that. But personally, like, security is what's bringing the park down, along with the guests of the park.
Yeah.
100% is what I'm seeing. Is security or Six Flags themselves would make the rules known. If things were posted, I understand things don't go to websites right away. I get it. It takes time and you know, manpower to do that. But there should be some kind of sign or something up that says DSLR cameras with detachable lenses are not allowed in the park. Security should be aware of what is allowed in the park. So it basically...
I mean, you need an organized rollout for that. You need to say, okay, this regulation or this notation is going to go up on the website at this point. So at this point, you start enforcing it. That, like, you can't blame people for what they didn't know. And you certainly can't treat them like they've done something wrong.
Right.
Especially in the case where, like, we always check and triple check that we aren't doing anything wrong. And if there's anything that we've had questions about whether or not it was allowed, we have taken them to the heads of the park before we brought them into the park. We haven't tried to get them in and been like, oh, we're YouTubers and
never ever have
we know
used
this
that.
person. We do not ever do that. But if there's something that we're like, okay, we'd like to use this equipment in the park, but we don't know if that's okay. You know what? Next time we see this person walking by in the park, because they're often walking around the park and just checking on things, we'll just stop them and be like, hey, quick question. You know, we want to use this. Is that okay with you?
And they get back to us in a timely manner, and then we get the answer we're either looking for or not looking for, but either way, we know how to do it. We know
coming into the park that we've covered our bases, but we're not doing anything
to walk into a theme park and get wanded by a security guard in a vicious manner.
Yeah, Danny got hit.
I got hit. I'm not going to tell you where I got hit, but it's in a place a man would not want to get hit by a security wand. Okay.
Yeah, it was just being super careless.
They just don't care.
And rather than being like, "Oh, dude, I'm sorry," you know, like
he looked at me. I turned around and I did express. I was like, "Hey, you just hit me here," and he's looked at me like, "Oh well, what do you want me to do?" You know, and I mean, we don't make a stink of anything in the like. We get it. Like, look, they're doing their job. We know, whatever.
Yeah. Like, they're having fun. They're at work,
right?
And we're aware of that fact when dealing with anybody in life in general. When you're out just chilling and they're at work, like, be cool. But like this happened,
but at the same time,
repeatedly these issues like. It wasn't just like, oh, one bad day, and we're here like, oh, we had a bad day at Six Flags. It was a repeated, like, thing that happened, like, 3 or more times to us, and then we saw videos of other YouTubers having the same issues.
At first, we were like, all right, maybe it's just us seeing something that's really not there.
Yeah.
Okay, but in the past week or so, seeing comments online other videos from other YouTubers, I can tell you,
like, it's obviously
it's holding to what it is.
Yeah,
it's definitely holding its weight. And as people that go to the park constantly, members of the park and everything, it needs to be changed.
Like, we do a lot of work covering the park, and now we're concerned.
I'm really concerned about entering this park.
You know what? It got that toward the end of the season. We really didn't go as much because we were constantly having issues.
And then also realizing constantly that the rules were changing every weekend about what we can and can't do.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no consistency in what anybody was telling me or the next person.
Yeah.
So it's just, I get it. Like, I get the whole, we're in Atlanta. There's, security that needs to happen right now with these time and days, the extra precautions with, what's going on in the world right now. I get it. But we all need to pick and choose our battles. Security it's our way or no way. We're the law around here. If you don't like it, you can leave, or we're gonna call the cops. I've never seen a theme park call the cops on people before.
I mean, I have to. Well, yeah, no.
I've never seen that before. I know the police are at theme parks, but Six Flags hasn't known that the cops are there. Not saying it's a bad thing.
I've only ever seen the presence when, like, on the rare occasion.
Right.
Usually during a big event or something like
that.
That's
where
the other there might be a fight or something along those lines.
That's the other thing too.
But we've seen videos of people having the cops called for really
dumb things.
Really inane, really. That's the long and short of what we've seen going on, and
we made our point on it. That's what we see.
We're just concerned, I guess, about, we have a couple months where the park is closed for everything to hopefully work itself out. Yeah, so I think we're going to be a little nervous going back into the park for the first time. And we do a lot of work there, like, it's not like, we're not always there just having fun at Six Flags. Like, we're there to cover certain things. And then we want to, like, come home, edit footage, get it out as fast as possible, so that people have it to see, and what are we going to be walking into, I think, is like our big concern at the moment. Yeah, it's true. So it's true. I mean, we all know, we're hoping for the best, but
Six Flags,
we really don't know what's going to be going on. Pay attention to the website, I guess, and be prepared. Like, I think the long and short of it is, like, we agree with what some other YouTubers have said, that, like, this is not, like, we don't criticize a lot about the park, but this is a policy that we really can't get behind, because the ones of us that seem to be catching a lot of harassment from it are the ones that are there, like, trying to showcase the park and, and
follow the rules. We don't take the camera on the ride.
Yeah, exactly. And it's always the people that are really paying attention to those rules and making sure that, we're doing the right thing, that are, like, catching a lot of harassment from some very overzealous security guards. Right. And
then there's other things out there.
And everybody has a
just too dangerous
camera in their pocket, like.
So cell phone.
What's, like, it's sort of pointless to, like, harass the people that are there trying to help out the park, kind of, and everybody there, like, has a camera all the time.
Yeah.
So it's not really a policy we really understand. Doesn't really make sense to us, and I guess we'll see what's going to happen.
We'll see. And we're also saying that we're not going back to the park. We'll definitely be back at the park, and we're just going to keep an eye on what's changing.
Yeah, definitely. But if this becomes an ongoing issue, there's no way it can't not affect us covering the park as much as we do. Like,
it's going to be in the back of our mind at some point of who's going to come up to us, who are we doing something wrong. It's going to constantly be there for us now.
Yeah.
So.
Well, so that's what we wanted to discuss with you guys. This is what's going on.
Yep.
And keep an eye out. We'll see what happens.
We'll see. But
hope you guys are doing great.
Don't let this affect.
Hope you had a great holiday season.
And don't let this affect the fun that you guys have at the park.
Yeah, we'll definitely see you back there.
Yep.
When they reopen.
And as just said,
we'll be back.
We'll be back.
And hopefully we'll be covering things without issue.
So enjoy your about 2 months or so off from the park right now. And in March, we'll be back there.
Alrighty.
We can't wait. We hope things are changing and we're ready for the fun again, you know? Mm-hmm. We don't like being locked down that long. And so then, we are out of here. Later.